I just want to talk a little bit about production in Camtasia as a whole for faculty. Do you have any recommendations either way for or against using a built-in microphone as opposed to maybe even a low-cost retail market USB microphone?
Yep, we oftentimes recommend a USB microphone, whether it's a headset or a desktop microphone. It just generally gives better quality because it bypasses the sound card. The USB just really does a good job of picking up the audio. I personally like a headset, mainly because if I had a headset on right now and my microphone was right here, as I'm moving my head, my audio is always going to be the same distance from that. If I have a desktop microphone and I'm speaking towards it and then maybe I turn and talk over here, you're noticeably going to hear that difference in the audio. So yeah, you can get some inexpensive, maybe less than $50 USB headsets that are decent.
Since I'm hitting you on the spot, I don't expect crystal clear thought process on this, but can you touch on any just sort of, you must hear feedback from people who stop by your booth like, oh, I have trouble doing this, I have trouble doing that. What are some of the big ones maybe and just easy ways to avoid having that issue?
As far as their video projects, they have troubles doing specific features or
video
functionalities?
projects, possibly editing, anything, run the gamut.
Sure. I'm a huge proponent of scripting. Making my videos little digestible chunks. So, I always ask people when I'm doing training classes, when somebody sends you a link to a video, what's one of the first things you look at? And it usually is, how long is this video? How much time do I have to commit to watching this? So if you are building longer videos, is there a way to maybe chunk them into smaller pieces to deliver them? It just depends too on the content. Sometimes a longer video is needed and just fine. But if you're doing that, scripting is usually helpful because then you can stay on task and basically not wander off into different tangents of where you're going. And
then do you find scripting is a good tool for sort of informing your editing process?
Yep, definitely, because as you're writing your script, basically you're kind of doing a dry run through. You're going through what you're going to be capturing, so you can kind of find those little maybe hiccups before you actually get in and start recording. And I also it can take away time spent editing, so I always kind of look at it as, where do you want to spend your time up front planning? Then you're going to spend less time editing. Whereas if you you don't spend as much time prepping and planning for it, then you might spend that time editing, trying to fix things, maybe mistakes and so forth.
So you can't always fix it in post.
Right, it's hard sometimes.